Master, these days, wherever we go, whether it is a school or a college, a university or corporates, banks, we find that a lot of seminars, conferences are being held on this subject of heartfulness. So today's session is dedicated to understanding this concept of heartfulness. Master, what is heartfulness?
It's very simply put, we have to understand what Sri Ramchandra Mission is. It's an organization. Sri Ramchandra Mission offers a path called Sahaj Marg. And this path is offered heartfully to one and all. That's why we call the approach of offering this practice to one and all as a way, approach of heartfulness, where all are welcome, whether you belong to one particular system or you're already practicing some form of meditation, or you may not even have a slightest of idea of what to look for. You just stumble upon, all are welcome. People with knowledge, without knowledge, people with experience, without experience. They want to expose themselves to certain spiritual practice. We heartfully welcome one and all. See? And that is why we call it heartfulness.
Master, you have just mentioned that I, a new seeker, can come and practice heartfulness. Will it make a difference, Master, that I may belong to any religious organization? For instance, I can be a Hindu, or I can be practicing Christianity, or I may be practicing Islam. Will that make a difference in my trying to practice heartfulness?
Surely. Following this particular way of meditation, we are always thinking of the source of the divine light or source of divinity itself present in our heart. You may call whatever names. Let's see, when a person in Africa asks for a bread, he calls it by some name. Person in Europe asks for the bread with another name. Person in Iran or in Saudi Arabia will call that particular bread with different name. In India, you call it with whatever name you like, and so many names are there to this bread. But when you eat, when you partake that particular bread, it quenches your hunger. And that's the purpose of meditation. See, it does not matter what you call it. After all, you're going to have a bread. After all, you're going to have the experience of divinity. You may call whatever name you may address it as, but the response will always come from one person, one source rather. One person may call it as our brother was talking about Lord Venkata, he responds to me. Another person responds, say, oh, I got a revelation from Lord Jesus Christ. Another person says, I got it from Lord Vishnu. Fine. These are our own creation. See? But the response comes only from one source given different names. And that's what we are trying to tap into through meditation, tapping into the source.
So I may be having any religious leaning. I can still practice heartfulness. It won't have any adverse impact on my religious practice? It doesn't clash in any way?
Not at all, not at all. It will in fact help us understand our own roots better when we practice meditation. Meditation is like wearing a person who is wearing a reading glass, for example. He is not able to see things without it, or not able to read clearly without reading glasses. But once you put on these reading glasses, things becomes larger. Likewise, meditation expands our consciousness through which we perceive greater things in life.
So how is heartfulness related to meditation? Or is it a form of meditation?
No, heartfulness is just an approach Sahaj Marg followers take in expanding the system outside, as well as how to accept others into the system, as well as how one as an individual heartfully approach God.
Okay. So it's a heartful approach to
Everything in life.
everything in life, including God.
Everything, yes.
Is there any fees charged to learn this meditation technique?
No, not at all. Our Babuji Maharaj used to say, God is not for sale. How can you charge? And even if you, let's say, you are able to pay, how much can you pay for God? And if you can, then I think you are better or greater than God. Then you don't need God. If you are able to pay something for God, then you don't need God. No? So I think we fool our system, we fool our minds, we fool our everything because of this idea of bringing value with God. Value system destroys our approach towards God. We have to be careful with such notions of charging. To answer it very briefly, no, we do not charge anything to learn this practice or even to sustain this practice later on.
Later on.
No one will charge.
Master, you have mentioned in many of your talks a phrase called placebo meditation, which is part of the heartfulness technique. Can Master kindly explain what is placebo meditation?
Oh, that's very interesting. You see, I wanted to bring this awareness of transmission and pranahuti to the scientific mind, to our youth, so that they learn something very so sublime, something so subtle, like God, but in a scientific way. See? If we prove to our children, our youngsters, that yes, God can be experienced, then there is some beauty to spirituality. See? So what we are trying to do is we give the method. This method is to be followed as it is in the first session, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to your heart's delight. Here we do not use transmission to start with. So afterward we have the same method adopted but with transmission from Sadguru. Our master allows this taste of transmission whenever we sit during meditation. It is this pranahuti or transmission that takes us deeper, that makes us go deeper into ourselves, makes us have the samadhi-like experience. It creates such a peaceful environment inside ourselves to show that pranahuti really makes a difference. So we once meditate without transmission, which is like a placebo, and again with transmission. So we are able to compare the effect of transmission, effect of meditation, and it is instantaneous. One can see it in the very first session itself. You don't have to wait what this system or what this pranahuti or this transmission can do to my meditation. So it is immediately proven to even a non-believer that pranahuti, will it do something for me, or this is something that I have to do all my life to feel at the last part of my life or after my life? No, it has to be felt here and now in the very first session itself.
But Master, what is pranahuti?
Oh, pranahuti, there are many meanings to it. See, one of them is pranasya pranaha. See. Another one is the flow of prana that is always there. It is always there. It is like air, omnipresent. See, what Guru does, like the fan. See, the wind, the air is always there in the surrounding. We appreciate the value of fan in summer afternoon. See, when the air is standstill and you're so hot. But when the fan is turned on, the air is in motion, which was not felt earlier. This prana, the divine force, the divine energy, it is always there everywhere. But once some sort of a force is created, like that wind created by fan. You also feel the flow of this pranahuti when a person of caliber, some caliber yogis or caliber gurus are able to transmit this, create this environment, create this flow which we can feel in our heart during meditation. To put it differently also, this body, physical body, we have mental and we have a causal, what our shastras talk about, that we have sthul sarir, which is physical manifestation. We have subtle bodies, manas, chit, buddhi and ahankar. And we have causal body, karan sarir. There is always a play between this subtle body and the grosser body, with which we are so much preoccupied in modern era. See? Yogis, they are lost also in another direction. Play of subtle body with the causal body all the time. See? They forget about this world. Now, to nourish this physical body, we have balanced diet. Okay? To nourish the subtle bodies, we educate ourselves, we go to universities, schools, we contemplate, we interact with each other. We learn from various sources and enrich our minds. But unfortunately, even though we fulfill the needs of the physical body, sthul sarira, we fulfill the need of subtle body, our subtle bodies, manas, chit, buddhi and ahankar, but we fail to nourish our soul. The food for soul, the nutrition for our spirit, what could that be? And what is the source? Once you feel this transmission, once you feel this prana flowing into your heart, only then you will be able to convince yourself, okay, yes, this was something I was missing all my life. Once you have that, it is like a person who has never drank something, water, for a long, long time, and he has forgotten about it altogether, because he's been drinking something else perhaps. But once the real taste of water comes, he understands, yes, this really quenches my thirst. Likewise, when pranahuti is experienced at an individual level, you see, then one can appreciate the beauty of it. See. I can give a third example. During monsoon, trees, they come to life. You see, even though all through the summer, all through winter, they survived. Through their root system, they absorbed water, right? But when it rains from outside, it comes to life. Pranahuti is like that. Though our soul gives us life, body thrives on because of the soul. Once the soul decides to live, body drops dead, right? But body comes to life at a different level when it receives this pranahuti, like monsoon rain for trees. We also need something like that. You can also say spiritual rain, and you expose yourself to it. So that is pranahuti.
Is it the same as yogic transmission?
It is.
And what is the source of this pranahuti?
Source is always God, always God. But now and then there are few who are capable enough to tap into the source and then make it flow.
And that is why the role of master.
Role of the master. Without this master, you cannot have pranahuti, you cannot have transmission. The only speciality of Sahaj Marg, which differentiates it from any system in the world today or any system in the world that had existed ever in the past, is this pranahuti. You take out this pranahuti from Sahaj Marg system of yoga, it is like any other system. But with transmission, every individual will be able to dive deeper. Only thing I request is open-hearted approach to it. Try a placebo meditation and try with transmission and come to your own conclusion. Please don't trust my words. Prove it to yourself. Run an experiment in your life. You are the experimenter. You are the scientist. Your heart is the laboratory. Your heart again is going to tell you the experience coming from it, from your heart itself.
Master, you have always said that a new seeker must try meditation, which is placebo meditation, that is without pranahuti. And thereafter he must try meditation with pranahuti. And you have also said that the difference is very perceptible. Master, is this difference perceptible in the very first sitting which the abhyasi or a new seeker will take?
In the very first sitting, he'll be able to feel the difference. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Okay. Master, you have been insisting that we follow a relaxation technique before we start meditation.
Yes.
Can Master tell us the importance of the relaxation technique and also take us through the relaxation technique?
Surely. Our master, Pujya Sri Babuji Maharaj from Shahjahanpur, his first statement before he would tell others how to meditate, he would say, you should relax first. Your body must relax before you start meditation. Relax. Then think of the presence of divine light in the heart, and then receive this transmission and go deeper into meditation. See? This will happen automatically, this going deep within the system, within your consciousness. It happens automatically. We don't have to try anything. In fact, when you try more, it will run away from us. We have to let it happen in a very natural way. Pranahuti, somehow it works like a